Time-based calculations are common asked in many reports. You'll find yourself often comparing periods, say this year versus last year. Maybe you're doing year-to-date comparisons, or even showing trends over time. But to achieve this in a flawless manner, you need one crucial part, and that is a calendar table. In this video, I will show you how you can create one in a magical way using Excel. So to create a calendar table in Excel, I open a blank Excel file like what you see here on the screen, and all I need to do is to type the columns that I want in this table. So it will be a date. First of all, we need to have a date field, and then we probably want to show the years, the month number, probably the month name. You can also do the day of the week and the quarter in the year. We'll assume that our data set runs from 1st of January 2022, and the last date that you want to include in the calendar should be the end of the year of the last date in your data set. For instance, if you're talking about sales that are running up to February 2025, then you should create a calendar table that runs up to December 2025. That's basically the best practice, but it's out of scope for this video. So I've written the columns that we want here. So what we need is to type the first date that we want, which is 1st of January 2022. And some people go ahead and create just below that date. You just press equals, you select the previous row date and say +1. So that one will give you the next date. And since we want, that's how many years? 2022, 2023, 24, and 25. Those are 4 years. So some people would go ahead and drag this all the way until you get the 31st of December 2025. But in this video, I said we want to see what is the magical way you can do this in a smart way. So I'll just press undo, Control Z, and then you still need the initial date that you want to give as a seed here. And then you can go ahead and create these other fields. We shall be putting formulas here, but this is the magic piece. So what you need is to first of all highlight this selection, your column headers, plus the first date, and then go to the Home tab and convert this one to be a special table in Excel. So as an official Excel table, you can choose any style there and press OK. So you'll see now we have a different tab here up in the ribbon, and this tells us that this one is a special table. You'll notice if I click outside of that range, that ribbon menu disappears. But if I come back inside, then that menu comes back. So that is the magic piece. And once you do that, you can then go ahead and apply the formulas that are needed to generate the rest of the columns. In this case, if I want the year from the date given, I'll just press equals year, tab key to just complete that. Then we select A2, and you can see here it gives me the column header instead of just saying A2. That's the nature of special tables in Excel. And then I close the bracket and press enter. You'll see I get 2022. For the month number, again, the formula that we need here is equals month, and we'll select the date again as our input. When we press enter, we get the month number. For the month name, we use a formula called equals text. This one will require 2 arguments, and in this case, the first argument is the date, and then the second argument, which is the way you want that date to be displayed, needs to be in double quotes. So I'll open the speech marks like that, and then type M's, 3 M's, like that, and close the double quotes and the parentheses. When I enter, you'll see I get the month name as the first 3 letters of the month. If I had used 4 M's, then I will get the complete month name label. But in this case, I just want to have 3 letters because I'm mindful of how it will look when you place this column in a chart, for instance. So I don't want slanted labels in a chart. The same case with the day of the week, we shall say equals text. Again, the input is the date, put a comma, open double quotes, and put 3Ds. That tells Excel to return the first 3 letters of the name of the day of the week. So in this case, that was a Saturday. For the quarter, we need a formula, and there are many ways you can do a quarter. I have done this video here that you can reference and check how you can create quarters in Excel. But in this case, I will use the round function. I will say equals round up, and then the number that you want to round up is the month number in column C divided by 3, because every quarter has 3 months. So we divide by 3, then we round up towards 0, away from 0. So I'll put 0 and close the bracket. And then when I enter, you can see I get a number 1 there. And this 1 is for quarter 1, okay? But since we want QTR for quarter as a prefix, I will edit this formula and just write after the equal sign. I will open the double quotes here, type QTR, short form for quarter, close the double quotes, and put an ampersand sign so that it can get the QTR and combine with the result of the round function. So having done all the formulas that we need for these columns, so here comes the fun part. How do we get these numbers or the calendar to populate for the 4 years that we are looking at? So what we need to do is, with A2 selected, because that's our initial date, we go to the Home tab. On the right side here, you will see this series icon, and you choose the option that says series. So with this series, what we need to say is, as you can see here, we are doing a series that is running within column A. So I'll choose columns here, not rows. And then the type is a date, because we have a date there in that cell. The unit will be a day, because from one row to another, we shall be having a day. Then down here, the stepped value is 1. And that's the difference from one row to another. Then you need to define what is the stop value or the last date that you want included. So that will be 31st slash or hyphen 12 hyphen 2025. So as you type this date, the format of the date should follow what you have as your settings in your computer. So be keen on that. Now, once we set this up, I'll just press OK, and there you go. So we have the complete calendar with all the dates. If I press Control with the arrow going down, then you can see the last date that I get here is 31st of December, 2025. And you can see all the columns that we created have been populated accordingly. So once you have the calendar complete, you can then go ahead and import it into Power BI or your Power Pivot model in Excel, just like any other data set that you'd be importing. So I find this one to be the most easiest way for you to create a calendar table in Excel and then import. But the only downside with it is that since we had coded the last date of this calendar, which is 31st of December, and you need this to roll into 2026, then you have to remember when that time comes, you need to come and update the new year, all the dates in the new year, so that this one can then run until 31st December of the last year that you want to include. That's the only downside, but I think it's not too much to ask. You can manage on that. And that's it. You now have a fully functional, reliable calendar that you can use for time-based calculations. If you found this useful, please go ahead and smash that like button. Subscribe to our channel for this and much more. I'll see you in the next one.